you? Yeah, very good. Glad to see you here. Thank you. Oh, hi, Bob. Yeah.
Well, welcome. Hi, Huskies. How are you? Well, we're here to welcome Governor Quinn, and we're on stage with many of our students, students that are quite interested in financial aid at the university, as well as their student career success. I appreciate the governor taking time at this very busy time of the year in Springfield. I know he's been working hard on the budget. 2 weeks ago, we were invited to testify in front of both the House and Senate Appropriations Committees. Those were difficult hearings. We're faced with significant financial challenges in this state, and we were asked to plan on how we would respond to 12.5% cuts by the House and 20% cuts by the Senate. After hearing that testimony, I know Governor Quinn considered the options and then presented his proposal to continue the income tax that would result in essentially a flat budget for higher education, something that I think can really help our faculty, staff, and students succeed. So we're appreciative of him thinking about that and then developing that budget based on that testimony and the other factors in the legislature. Governor Quinn's been interested in the success of our students around the state for some time, as we all know. We had the opportunity to visit with the governor a few months ago. Jack Berry, who's here, Jack, student body president, accompanied me, as did Stefan Canino, one of our students, and we met with the governor. And the governor asked them about a number of issues, and one of them was around MAP funding, and he's quite knowledgeable about this issue. And the students provided some really interesting insights and personal case histories. And I know the governor is quite interested in that, and he's continued to develop policy based on all this information he's gathering. And I really appreciate him coming here today to talk about that and the future of MAP funding in the state. So without further ado, Governor, welcome to NIU, and go Huskies.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Mike. Very good. Well, it's an honor to be here in Husky territory. I was at the football game this past year, and I did go to San Diego to the Poinsettia Bowl. Actually, last year I went to two bowls that NIU was in, the Orange Bowl at the beginning of the year and the Poinsettia Bowl at the end. And we didn't win either game, as we know. But the very fact that our great university, Northern Illinois University, the Huskies, really showed the nation how special the students are. I was so impressed by the student conduct and enthusiasm and energy, whether it's at the Orange Bowl or at the Poinsettia Bowl. Really, I think we really did our state and definitely NIU proud by our participation. And I wanted to come here today because, as Doug just mentioned, President Doug Baker, we want to thank Doug for his great leadership. I was here for his swearing in last fall, and he mentioned we did have a good meeting down in Springfield in my office in the state capitol. And one of the things that came up over and over again, not only here at NIU, but I'm going to be at University of Illinois in Champaign-Urbana later today. I was just at DePaul in Chicago, DePaul University. Whether you have private universities or public universities or community colleges in Illinois, Kishwaukee isn't far from here, we want to make sure we invest in scholarships. We understand how important college education is to the families and students of Illinois, but it's more and more expensive, and we want to make sure it's affordable for working families, everyday people who want to make sure their kids get a chance to go to college, learn, and then go into the working world and make a difference. So we have to invest in human minds, and we've been doing that in Illinois for over half a century with this program called the Monetary Assistance Program. It's a great program. It provides scholarships to students in need to allow them to go to public or private universities or colleges here in our state of Illinois, including community colleges. And right now our budget this past year was $373 million for this scholarship program. It helped almost 150,000 students in our state. But if we don't get the budget that I outlined last week that includes income tax revenue, the budget's going to cut the MAP scholarship program by $50 million. And thousands of students, maybe 21,000 or so students, will lose their scholarships. Now, this is not the right way to go for Illinois. We want to instead, my budget calls for investing $50 million more in the MAP program, in the scholarship program, so we can serve 20 or 25,000 more students with scholarships. The tragedy right now is there's a long waiting list for MAP scholarships. Our state runs out of money at $373 million. We think we should put more money in. My goal is to invest and double the investment in the scholarship program over the next 5 years. And this year, this budget is the first installment. Now, there will be people in our state, in politics, believe it or not, that'll go around and say you can tax less, spend less, but that means learn less, because that means a lot of folks who are eligible for scholarships will not get those scholarships, will not have a chance to go to college. And that, I think, is just plain wrong. We want to make sure that students who have financial need, many of whom are the very first person in their family to go to college, and they are going to make a good example in their community, their neighborhood, really show what learning is all about. If we don't invest in those young men and women, and they're right here, we're missing the boat in Illinois. And I'm not afraid to go out all across our state, and especially here at this great university, where I believe about 1 out of every 3 students going to Northern Illinois University gets a MAP scholarship. And we cannot cut back on that. We have to invest more in that. It pays dividends for a lifetime. It increases our ability to create more jobs in Illinois and better paying jobs. So getting an opportunity to go to a great university like this one and having a scholarship that helps you get there is super important for our state of Illinois. And I think it's important to understand that if we don't invest in our students, if we have so many people left behind, the lack of the opportunity to go to college hurts our economy a great deal. You know, the latest study shows that student debt for college is greater than credit card debt in America. Well, we can't have that. We've got to make sure college is affordable, and that's what I'm committed to, and that's why we got to work very hard between today and May 31st. That's the deadline for getting the budget passed, and we're going to have a day in Springfield, April 30th. It's 4 weeks from yesterday. We're going to bring as many folks as we can to Springfield to make sure the legislators understand how important our MAP college scholarships are for students who need a helping hand financially in order to afford to go to college. The average debt that the students have in America after going to college is $24,000. We've got to help those students out, and that will pay, I think, a great dividend for our state for years to come. So that's why I'm here today. I'm also here because in the budget, I propose that we not cut the budget of Northern Illinois University. If we don't get our income tax revenue that we need in order to invest in higher education, we will have a budget decline of about $12 million for this university right here. Now, that's just plain wrong. If we want to have a strong economy, if we want to have a good future, we cannot be cutting higher education in our state by, in this university, $12 million. That's not right. And I think it's important that we summon our energy, gather together in the best traditions of Illinois, and work together to make sure that we invest in education in our state. Not only our higher education and our scholarships we're talking about today, but early childhood education. My budget also includes a good investment, a healthy investment in birth to 5. Those young boys and girls who are born today up to the age of 5, there's 1 million children in Illinois in that category of 0 to 5. We got to invest in their future to make sure they're ready for college. Same way with K to 12. We're not going to be starving our elementary and secondary schools and seeing property taxes go higher and higher. We've got to take a stand in Illinois. And I think it's important this year that we're at a turning point. We can either do the right thing or go backwards, and I don't think we should go backwards. I think we should go forwards in the best traditions of the Huskies and Northern Illinois University. So I wanted to come here to state my case, and I'm really glad that every one of these students is with us here today. But I want to call upon Michelle Romero. Her sister, Erica, went to school here, got a nursing degree. She's working as a nurse. She had a MAP scholarship, and so does Michelle. Now, Michelle is from Belvedere, Illinois. She's studying political science. She's a senior. I was told in the notes that she hopes and aspires someday to be the President of the United States. Well, I think that's a pretty good aspiration. You know, let's start really high. You know, we want to aspire to excellence. And I was with the President of the United States yesterday. He was in Illinois. I met him at the airport. And I was telling him about our scholarship program. You know, he is so much focused on this in Washington with the Pell Grants and all of that. And we've got to be doing the same thing right here in Illinois, investing in college scholarships for students in financial need to make sure they get that chance of a lifetime. So, Michelle, a future President of the United States, she might be governor too. Come on forward, okay? There you go.
Hello, my name is Michelle Romero. I'm 22 years old. I'm a senior here at NIU studying political science. My life and my family's lives have been impacted hugely by the MAP grants. My two sisters and I have all put ourselves through college by working several part-time jobs and receiving student loans and the MAP grants. I'm a student worker at NIU's financial aid office, and I've spent 3 years waitressing at Buffalo Wild Wings. My sister Amanda, she graduated from NIU in 2006. She went on to get her master's degree from NIU, and she is now a reading specialist at Washington Academy in Belvedere. My sister Erica also earned her degree last May from NIU. She's now a nurse at Swedish American in Rockford. She works with orthopedic and neuro patients. I'm graduating next month, and I'm fortunate enough to already have a job secured with Liberty Mutual Insurance. I'm hoping to someday return to school and pursue my law degree. It would have been very difficult for my parents to have afforded to send me to school, let alone all three of us. Thanks to the MAP grants, my sisters and I have pursued our dreams without being burdened by an overwhelming debt. I was fortunate enough to receive the MAP grant all 4 years here at NIU. But unfortunately, this year there were 1,441 students who were eligible to receive the grant, but were unable to get that opportunity due to a lack in funding. So I'm very excited to hear that Governor Quinn is proposing to expand MAP grant funding so that others can afford to put themselves through college and set themselves on the road to success. Thank you.
Well said. Very well said. Thank you. Stand by here. All right, Michelle. So you're going to be a lawyer someday, huh? Yeah.
Someday.
Okay, we hope that happens. And I think what Michelle just said, 1,441 people qualified for the grant, but the money ran out. The scholarship money ran out. We can't have that. We can't have those students lose that opportunity. That's why we want to invest $50 million more in Michelle, and Michelle helps a lot of folks at the student aid office. I know that. I was reading about it. So with all those forms to fill out, she's there to help them out, to navigate them through. But we cannot have the money run out, and a lot of dreams are extinguished. That isn't the right way to go in Illinois or America. We've got to invest in people who want to learn. We want to be a lifelong learning society. That's why this is such a key turning point in Illinois. For the apostles of doing nothing, and you're going to hear a lot from them, I'm sure, over the next couple of months. If they get their way, this university is going to lose $12 million in its basic operating budget. That's wrong. And our MAP program for students all over the state, our scholarship program, will go down $50 million. That's not right. We should go up $50 million for the scholarships and maintain the budget for Northern Illinois University. So next year, January 1st, I suppose, we can all go to the Rose Bowl with the Huskies. That's what I'm looking for. All right? Hey, Bob. All right. Has anybody got any questions from the press over here?
Your opponent, in the past 24 hours, has said your MAP program contradicts some of the cuts that have been made to the program in recent years.
Well, we maintained that program in the toughest budget times Illinois has ever had, and it was a mighty effort to do that. And our budget that we're proposing right now raises it $50 million to an all-time high. That person you're talking about is pursuing a view that it should go down $50 million. So it is a turning point. You either go with the investment in education or go with those apostles of going backwards. Any other questions? Yes, sir. Oh, yes, ma'am. Sorry. Good.
In addition to what's going on with the NASDAQ cuts at NIU, what is going to happen to a lot of the faculty who may be trying to retire after the pension?
Yeah. Well, I think that is being litigated right now. It's before the court system. So that's not going to be finalized really for probably a year or more. And we just have to wait for the courts to act upon it. Each faculty member can make their own personal decision. But the pension reform, difficult but necessary in order to make sure that we do have resources in Illinois to invest in education and public safety and other important things in life. I would say what is crucial right now is the overall budget of this university. I think it's $93 million, $93.4 million is the proposed budget that I have proposed. What would happen if we don't get the budget I'm proposing, if we go backwards, the university would only get $81.8 million, and that would be roughly $12 million less. Not acceptable. That's a terrible cut in the learning capacity of this great school. You know, Abraham Lincoln, when he was on this earth, signed a law called the Morrill Act to establish land-grant universities across America. He believed in learning. Even during the Civil War, the terrible times of the Civil War, he understood that it was important to have great universities like this one that go forward and have education not just for the elite and for the billionaires who have all kinds of money, but for everyday people who live from paycheck to paycheck, who have dreams and aspirations and want their kids to go to college and have to have a scholarship oftentimes to help them get there. Okay, any other thoughts? Yes, right here. Yeah, it's very interesting. The students in the monetary assistance program, the scholarship program, the overwhelming majority stay in Illinois. More than half of those students, by the way, are of color, and many, many, many are of first generation in their family to go to college. So we're really educating our own, and they stay in our own state and make a difference in our own state. We just heard from Michelle. Her sister Amanda is working in Illinois helping education. Her sister Erica is up in Rockford at a hospital. And that you're going to be working for Liberty Mutual in what town was that? Warrenville. Okay, 3 places in Illinois. And so it's so important that we understand if we're going to have a strong future, we have to invest in it. You're going to hear a lot from the cutting crowd, and they're cutting the most important part of our mission of state government. State government's got to educate people. That is the most important thing we do in state government. And so for those who don't support our budget, who want to go backwards, they're going to really cut out the futures of a lot of good people who want to learn. Okay? Well, listen, I want to thank everybody for coming. Thank you, President Baker. You're doing a great job.
Thank you,
and we'll
Governor.
see you at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. Okay? All right.
Very good, Bob.
Yes, indeed, Mark. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you. All right, you guys. Thank you for coming. Thank you. You're the president. Okay.